It's Thursday, November 1, 2018. This is the news on PBCJ. I am Simone Absalom. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says that the sovereignty of Jamaica is foremost as the government enters relations with bilateral partners. His assurance is in response to concerns about the number of bilateral agreements between Jamaica and the Republic of China. These concerns were voiced by Reverend John Hardy while delivering the invocation at the official handing over ceremony for the Jamaica-China Goodwill Infant Schools 1 and 2 in Olympic Gardens, St. Andrew, yesterday.
For the government of China, you have given this country favor in the sight of this great nation. And Lord, they have blessed us with loans and gifts. But Lord, we are not unmindful for the many persons in this country that have concern about the long-term implications of these gifts and these loans. But Sovereign Savior, we come to you this morning and we ask you that not one default of payment to the government of China for the loans that they have given us.
The Prime Minister in his address explained that the country's sovereignty will be preserved and protected, especially as the relationship between Jamaica and its international partners increases. Mr. Holness made reference to the government's infrastructure and development in partnership with the government of China. The Prime Minister noted that there is much fear-mongering being spread in society.
I don't think that there needs to be any fear-mongering. The government of Jamaica has been very strategic. And the sovereignty of Jamaica is always foremost in my mind. So when we engage with that as a non-negotiable part of the partnership.
Mr. Holness made reference to the government's infrastructure and development in partnership with the government of China. The Prime Minister noted that there is much fear-mongering being spread in society.
We are part of a global village where we are located in the world. Shipping passes us near and regularly. It is unavoidable that we would be looked at and sought after as a logistics node.
The Prime Minister stressed that it would be tantamount to ridiculous for Jamaica not to engage in business relations with China, which is the second largest economy in the world. Mr. Holness further stated that the infrastructure that have been built with the assistance of the Chinese government or Chinese companies were being done as investments and all have been beneficial to the economy.
What we must ensure, as we have always done, is that if we borrow smartly. We seek to get the best rates and we make a commitment as we have made with other countries and other multilateral institutions, as it is in our constitution, that we must repay our loans.
In the meantime, the Prime Minister thanked the Chinese government for its investment in Jamaica's education sector. Most recent, the Jamaica-China Goodwill Infant Schools 1 in West Central St. Andrew and the second institution in St. Thomas Eastern.
Thank you. Thank you.
Jamaica's coffee industry earns in excess of $25 million per year, or it used to. The industry employs over 15,000 Jamaicans whose livelihood are now hanging in balance as the sector is in crisis. CEO of Mavis Bank Coffee Farm and chairman of the Jamaica Coffee Exporters Association, Senator Norman Grant, is warning of hard times. Senator Norman Grant says the coffee industry's major challenge is due to the falling in prices in the Japanese market, Jamaica's largest consumer. In an interview with the PBCJ, he explained the current prices are too low to make a substantial profit. Consequently, they are looking at expanding production and markets.
Right now, 70% of our export goes into the Japanese market, 20% into the USA market, and 10% into Europe and the rest of the world. 25 years ago, 99% of Jamaica's export were going into the Japanese market.
The focus on Japan relates to the decades-old trade relations that the Jamaica Coffee Exporters Association is determined to keep. That is the thought behind the upcoming celebration of the Jamaica Blue Mountain Coffee Day in Japan on January 9, 2019.
This has been legislated by the Japanese government. So like how we celebrate Heroes Day in Jamaica, it's going to be a big event which symbolizes the largest shipment leaving Jamaica 51 years ago. And we're looking to use that as a launching pad to refresh the brand, to engage the younger generations.
In addition to maintaining and expanding markets, there are also calls for a tax to be imposed on imported coffee. But the association has proposed a mutual compromise.
What they tell us, it has to be around about $4 or $5 per cup. And the green beans required cannot exceed a price of about $2 per pound as input costs. You cannot pay the Jamaican farmers $2 per pound. And what has to happen is that we import low-price coffee, we blend it with Jamaican coffee or Jamaican Blue Mountain coffee, and based on the law, it now has to contain at least 30%. And this is something that we, the traders, and we, the exporters, supports.
The Statistical Institute of Jamaica, Statten, is reporting that Jamaica's unemployment rate as of July 2018 declined to 8.4% when compared to July 2017. The agency explained that the reduction was mainly due to an increase in the number of persons employed and a simultaneous reduction in the number of persons in the labor force. In July 2018, the number of persons employed was 1.2 million, representing an increase of 12,800 persons above the number recorded in July 2017. Males employed increased by 5,900 and female employment increased by 6,900. Regarding the youth unemployment rate, Statten said the figure decreased from 27.5% in July 2017 to 22.2% in July 2018. Canada is planning to substantially step up deportations of illegal immigrants. A leaked email from a senior Canada Border Services Agency official to staff, cited by the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation, says the goal is to deport some 10,000 persons a year, as much as 35% increase over recent years. According to the CBC, 18,000 people, mostly failed refugee claimants, currently face deportation. So far this year, 6,083 have been deported, compared to a total of 8,472 in 2017 and 18,987 in 2012. According to the latest government data, more than 30,000 have come from the United States in search of asylum. Most were originally from Nigeria, Haiti, Turkey, or Colombia. The Tourism Product Development Company, TPDCO, has implemented anti-harassment initiatives and security measures to ensure a safe and hassle-free environment for tourists. A major thrust launched in September was the Treat or Visitors Right public awareness campaign geared at improving the visitor experience by sensitizing stakeholders on the impact of harassment. The 3-month campaign utilizes all channels necessary to generate exposure and potentially change perspectives, attitudes, and behaviors of destination residents. It features a television advertisement, a jingle, a social media campaign, and placement of campaign information on the organization's website, www.tpdco.org. An anti-harassment video dubbed Comia has been produced to further discuss the issue of harassment, its causes, effects, and its possible solutions, and also to get buy-in to the required attitude and behavior changes. As of today, motorists should see a decrease at the pumps in the price of gasoline and diesel. That's according to the latest ex-refinery costs from Petrojam. 87 and 90 octane gasoline will be sold for $135.95 and $138.79 per litre, respectively, down by $1.29 each. Automotive diesel fuel will be sold for $143.71 per litre, following a decrease of 71 cents, while the ultra-low sulfur diesel is down by 74 cents and will be sold for $148.22 per litre. Meanwhile, kerosene decreased in price by 95 cents and will be sold for $122.91 per litre. Remember, marketing companies and retailers will add their respective markup to these prices. The US dollar ended trading yesterday at Jamaican $128.59, down by 4 cents. That's according to the Bank of Jamaica's daily foreign exchange trading summary. Meanwhile, the Canadian dollar ended trading at $97.78, down from $98.78, while the British pound ended trading at $163.35, down from $165.87. In regional news, we look to Barbados, where the central bank says the economy will see negative growth this year of 0.25 to 0.75. Central Bank Governor Cleviston Haynes made the disclosure on Wednesday as he presented a review of the country's economic performance in the first 9 months of the year.
The bank now expects negative growth of 0.25% to 0.75% for 2018. Output in 2019 is forecast to be in the range of 0.5% to 1%, but the actual outcome will be influenced by the speed with which new investments, particularly in the private sector, occur. These have the potential to absorb some of the labor that government is shedding. In addition, the 2019 English credit tour is anticipated to boost activity at the same time as the emerging medical education sector gains root. Increased airlift out of the United States creates the potential for a strong uptick in activity. Given the elimination of the NSRL, the inflation rate is expected to fall. The current forecast for 2018 and 2019 is now 4.3% and 2.7% respectively. However, volatile oil prices remain a threat to the trajectory of the inflation rate. This positive outlook requires the effort and commitment of all stakeholders to ensure that planned reforms achieve their intended goals.
In sports, 12 Caribbean teams should be in action today as the CONCACAF Under-20 Championship opens in Florida. Trinidad and Tobago, who have participated in 2 Under-20 FIFA World Cup tournaments, will open Group A action against St. Vincent and the Grenadines at the IMG Academy in Florida. In other matches on the day, Suriname will take on debutants, the U.S. Virgin Islands. The defending champions of the United States will face Puerto Rico, while Cuba will meet Belize. Antigua and Barbuda, who are playing in their second straight CONCACAF Under-20 Championship, will play St. Martin. Honduras will battle with the Dominican Republic, and St. Lucia will play Haiti. The Under-20 Reggae Boys will get into action on Friday when they take on Grenada. In the group stages, Jamaica will also face Aruba, Nicaragua, St. Martin, and Mexico. The top team from each group will advance to the qualification stage of the competition. In other sporting news, President of football's governing body FIFA, Gianni Infantino, says the expansion to a 48-team World Cup could be done as early as 2022 edition of the World Cup in Qatar. The decision has already been taken to expand the tournament in 2026, when it will be held in the USA, Canada, and Mexico. And Infantino is now considering doing the same for 2022. And that's the news. Thanks so much for making it PBCJ. We are the People's Station. I'm Simone Absalom. Pleasant viewing.